Hey guys, it's Scott and Peter from WhatCulture.com. We've just checked out a world exclusive of Namco Bandai's new IP, Little Nightmares. What was your immediate take on it?
I really like it. Like, we saw it just, we heard that there was going to be some kind of new IP from Namco, and we saw it on the show floor yesterday, just literally walked past the stand. Didn't know anything about it other than having a look at the presentation, like the art style and that kind of thing. And even from that alone, I thought it looked really intriguing. Never judge a book by its cover, of course, but it looks really good, I think, and it plays really well too.
So like they've sort of made like a side-scrolling physics-based platformer. It's very like Unravel or Inside Limbo, and that sort of thing. But with their own sort of like arty style twist on it, a little bit Tim Burton-ish. You play as a little girl called Six, and it's all about sort of her exploration of her memories. Now the demo that they gave us was just sort of a short run through of like a small abattoir-style kitchen area, and we sort of ran through, and there was like an evil chef. Now, like, one question which I'll get to: did you die at all?
I did die. Well, he caught me. Right. I don't know. And then you kind of wake up just back in the previous room.
Because that was the whole thing in Limbo. Because one of the big things that I was curious about was if they were going to be as visceral as something like Limbo. Because a lot of the deaths in Limbo are very brutal and like heads get cut off and everything else. So they sort of half walked us through it. It'd be like, oh, you want to stay away from the chef's gaze? And I was like, nah, I'm going to get caught and I'm going to see what happens. So the game actually restarts by having Six sort of like sitting there and she's got her head buried in her hands, implying that maybe the whole thing is in her head.
Yeah, it's maybe as though she was anticipating what's going to happen when she goes into that room, has this nightmare about being caught, and then kind of like wakes up back where you were. It's like a checkpoint system. Just that's what it is. It's like a checkpoint, but it's done in a way as though it's like a dream sequence in a film. When suddenly they wake up and it's like, oh, none of that actually happened. This is the real one. It's something like that, maybe.
But yeah, the whole thing plays very promisingly. They've got a nice little puzzle where you sort of had to figure out how to progress based on pushing and pulling some different items in the world. I was pretty impressed. It's a very solid foundation. It feels like a lot of physics platformers are the way to go. Like Inside did very well on Xbox. Overall, though, very, very promising. And it's actually not out until next year. So
it's spring 2017. And I'll touch on that in that I did have a few problems with collisions or lack thereof. Like I phased through quite a lot of things while we were playing, but there's a long time for them to iron that out, and the rest of it I thought was reasonably seamless.
That's another thing actually, is the developers seem to be a supergroup called Tarsier Studios, and one of their key members was one of the Little Big Planet guys, and I think that was one of the things that immediately came through. Just when you're controlling Six, she's a little bit floaty, not so much as Sackboy, but yeah, in terms of clambering about and stuff, you have like a grip. Well, you have a grip button, but it didn't feel as tactile as something like Inside. And that did put me off a little bit, but how did you find the platforming side of it?
I thought the platforming was interesting. I thought I was surprised by some of the things that you could use as platform, things that were climbable and stuff. I think a lot of games, in fact, the biggest genre I have a problem with this is in FPS games, where you're running around and there's like a little thing. It's like, you've got arms and legs and you're a trained soldier, why can't you climb over? But in this game, there were a number of surprising objects that were climbable. I think the one thing I did want to touch on that note actually is the thing that most intrigued me was the way the world is designed. Things are exaggerated so that it's as though it's from the point of view of a small child. Because when I saw the teaser, I was like, she's way too small. Like, she's smaller than a chair kind of thing. Like, is she some kind of gnome or something? Like, is she a human? And I think the point of it is
she's minute.
Yes, she's minute. Cupboards are enormous. You can hide under chairs, because that is almost how you see the world when you are a very small child, and I thought that's a really interesting way of designing a world. Yeah,
that's one of the things that they seem to be factoring into the horror side of it. They were on about some creatures that might come after you, would be maybe a long tendril, sort of like crawling after you, like long arms and long fingers, Slender Man style, and that sort of thing. It sort of reminded me a little bit of what Media Molecule then went on to do, which was called Dreams, in the way that you're just a tiny little protagonist in this massive world. Overall, very promising, and I came away from it going, yeah, I'll totally play more of that.
I'm really looking forward to release day now. I just want to play more of it, see more of it. As I say, a couple of kinks to iron out, but they've got a long time yet before it comes out, so that's not really a problem. It's probably a very early build, so that's fine.
All in all, it's very, very promising. So coming at you from Gamescom 2016, I'm Scott.
I'm Peter.
We're both from WhatCulture.com. We'll see you soon.